Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Boys. So this is episode 6. This was by far the craziest episode we've seen. Um, it had a warning in the beginning saying it wasn't suitable for anybody. So it definitely was interesting. For those of you who have not seen it yet, please, you have to pause this video and watch it, because there are going to be spoilers ahead. And I don't want to ruin that moment for you, or any of the moments, to be honest with you, because there's more than one. So, let's get right into it. For those of you who have watched it, welcome. Those of you who haven't, I'm about to ruin your day. Sorry. So, the episode starts right where the last one kind of ended, in the sense of we have Soldier Boy in a motel with Huey and Butcher. For a second there, I'm sorry. And they're trying to get him all the food he wants and everything else. And he's really showing his age, in the sense of also not only just his age, but also his cultural insensitivity, which is definitely an interesting thing to see. Him being very racist, sexist, and just overall confused at what the world's like now. And he's about to leave them behind. And Huey and Butcher convince him otherwise, basically explaining to him that, hey, there's tech now that you don't even know exists. And Huey starts naming stuff, and Soldier Boy's like, you just made those words up. And in actuality, he was talking words like internet, Wi-Fi, GPS, things we've come accustomed to in our day and age now. So while that's going on, he wants to basically find out that he wants to go after the rest of the people of Payback and kill them all one by one, brutally and intensely, because he likes it. Now, we also have Starlight and MM working together. So the two of them kind of discussing that they need to take out Soldier Boy, but in a proper way, because we also find out from MM that really why his family doesn't like Soldier Boy, in the sense of we know the exact details of exactly what happened, because we just thought his father was trying to get rid of him. And the reason for it was he was stopping a crime in MM's neighborhood, and he got his grandfather up to go see, and when he did, Soldier Boy threw the car, and it happened to be in their apartment. And unfortunately, where his grandfather was standing was where he died. The car slammed right into him. And MM blames himself, because if he didn't wake up his grandfather, he wouldn't have been there. Starlight basically tries to convince him that that's not the case, and he doesn't, he just ignores her. So, back to Vought, we have Homelander, Ashley, and the Deep trying to figure out what happened where Crimson had died. And they see walking out of the flames is Soldier Boy. And first off, we also see the fact that the Deep is running everything, and he tries to throw Ashley under the bus by saying that, she fired everybody, when in actuality it was the Deep. And they're having trouble kind of zooming in on the stuff and everything else, and Homeland is getting really pissed off about this. So anyway, they decide to view in, and they see that it's Soldier Boy, and Homelander realizes that nobody's allowed to find out what's going on, and that they're going to have to figure out what's going on. So anyway, they're trying to figure out how to handle this situation. Starlight gets called in, and she has to leave MM, and she goes to Vought, which actually is the studio. They're going on a news conference with Homelander, Starlight, and Head Popper. Isn't that fun? And then obviously the interviewer. And Homelander and Starlight are basically explaining the Vought lies, that everything's fine and it's safe to be going outside. And then the news reporter asks a question about, with all these deaths, is it really truly safe? Very much in line with trying to prove that things aren't as hunky dory as they claim it to be. And Homelander gets really pissed with that and explaining that the media is twisting the words, that they have no idea what they're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And then he just rips off his microphone and leaves. So what we find out is that's always fun. And then the head popper talks to Starlight saying, you and I need to talk. And they decide to talk to each other. And then she explains to Starlight that she'll work with her to get rid of Soldier Boy and Homelander. And she won't pop anyone's heads anymore. And basically, Starlight finally snaps and goes, you know what? I'm sick and tired of people telling me I have to do bad things for good things to happen. And that's not me. And I'm not doing it. So she basically told her, you know what? If you want to kill me, go right ahead. I don't care. Because I'm going to keep doing what I do. And she basically explains to her, she goes, it's going to be very hard to kill America's sweetheart, but not impossible. And as she leaves, oh my gosh, Starlight has like a nosebleed, so we know that she has some sort of capability of doing so, but it's probably not easy on a soup, especially of her caliber. But definitely interesting overall. So what we find out is that he's going to be hunting down members of his team Payback, specifically the TNT twins first. So Butcher gets the address and they start to go. Those two shoot up and they get there. And Starlight meet up and they're going to head over to the TNT twins because they want to make sure everything's all right. What we find out is Black Noir has left. He ripped out his tracking device, handed it to some random woman, and then left. And then we had him just never being back again. Homelander finds out, is pissed about it, and the Deep basically explains to him that this is where he's going and everything else, and that somebody should go and scope it out. So he agrees. Now Homelander basically says, if you see Soldier Boy there, you are to let me know immediately. And so he agrees. So out of everybody, the Deep gets there first, and the Deep has been ordered not to let anybody know. So when he gets there, they're having their 70th annual Herogasm. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's been around for 70 years. I don't know how you don't. It is where all these soups and sex workers pretty much have a good old time just having sex in a million different ways. Yeah, it's exactly how it sounds. So the Deep gets excited, joins right in. Starlight and MM are the next two to show up. They walk in, and we see the guy with the extra long penis there, and MM is not happy to see him. And he gets in. Starlight convinces them to have her and him go in. And while this is going on, we see a bunch of sex going on, but we also see Termite pop out, bump into MM, where it's secretion of liquid on him because he was inside somebody. And MM was freaking the heck out, so he tries to look for a bathroom. When he opens one door, he is sprayed by gallons of what looks like mayo liquid, I guess the best way to put it. And he is pissed. So now he's really needing to find a place to clean himself. So he does so. Now, the last ones to show up are Butcher, Huey, and Soldier Boy. So they get there, and Huey basically explains to him, let me go in, find the twins, and then I'll let you know exactly where they are, and then you kill them. And Soldier Boy gave him 3 minutes. So Huey teleports him, and when he gets in there, we see A-Train, who's looking for Blue Hawk. And Huey basically wants an explanation to him, basically saying, you know what? I never got an apology from you. And then we see A-Train on an emotional side, where he basically explains, I'm sorry, especially after seeing somebody I care about hurt by somebody like this in such a drastic way. I apologize for what I did, and it was horrendous. And this is when Starlight comes in and tries to break the two of them up. And this is when Huey decides to start swinging. And now A-Train's getting pissed because he knows he's got some sort of power because he just hit him hard and he shouldn't have been able to do that. And they start arguing and everything else. And while this is going on, Soldier Boy comes out. Now, Soldier Boy comes in looking for the twins. While this is going on, MM comes out of the bathroom, sees him, takes out a grenade, throws it. It's a smoke grenade, specifically a knockout gas, I believe. And Soldier Boy just breathes it in and smokes it like it was a bomb. Goes to the side and was asking, what were you thinking was going to happen? And this is when MM gets into a fighting stance, ready to die, fighting Soldier Boy. And this is when Butcher comes down and says, no, not him. They're upstairs. Let's go. So when he gets upstairs, Butcher stops MM from trying to go after Soldier Boy, and MM tries to fight Butcher, but he's been souped up, so it's doing nothing. So while this is going on, Huey then teleports Starlight out of there because he didn't want her to attack Soldier Boy. Now, apparently when he teleports anybody, they're naked. Isn't that funny? So anyway, they get into a huge fight, and she realizes that she doesn't like Huey anymore because this is the Huey she didn't realize existed. He thinks he's doing the right thing, but for all the wrong reasons. He's doing all the wrong things for possibly the right reasons, but that doesn't make them better. While they're fighting, Soldier Boy's about to kill the two twins, but what happens is he starts hearing this Russian music and explodes and starts eliminating everyone in the area. Butcher saves MM. Everyone else is pretty much... Oh, I forgot to mention that the Deep was having oral sex with a octopus. In case you wanted to know. I had to watch it. You have to watch it. So anyway, we also see the Blue Hawks there, and this is when they kind of confront each other. And as this is going on, this is the explosion that happens and everything else. A-Train, after the explosion, confronts Blue Hawk. And Blue Hawk's like, this isn't the time, there's some crazy guy in there. And that's when A-Train grabs him, pulls him, drags him through the street, literally, causes himself to have a heart attack and most likely die on the street, where Blue Hawk is, if he's not dead yet, he will be soon because he's got, like, no skin anywhere. That being said, so that ends that story. Now, the explosion has happened. Starlight and Huey decide to go towards the explosion, even though supposedly he was supposed to stop her, and she kicked his butt pretty easily. Then we see Homelander come, which is always fun. Homelander gets there, and Soldier Boy starts... he actually laser blasts Butcher, knocks him to the ground, and then we see Soldier Boy and Homelander fight, and it's looking like an even fight, but then Homelander starts beating Soldier Boy up like everybody else. And that's when Butcher gets involved and starts beating him up. And so the two of them are fighting against Homelander, and they're not enough. And this is when Huey gets in and starts teleporting, punching, and they're all ready to fight. Now, Homelander puts up a huge fight. They pin him to the ground, Huey and Butcher, and while this is happening, Soldier Boy was ready to blast him to a smithereens, but Homelander was able to get strong enough, or the advantage enough, to push them off of him and fly away. And that's kind of the end of their story. But we see Homelander bruised and actually hurt for the first time, which is interesting. We also see him throughout the episode have a psychotic break where there's this dual personality, where it's the one where he's human and he's trying to be loved by everyone, and then there's the sadistic person who just doesn't care about anybody and wants to kill everybody. Fun times, right? So, very interesting, fun, just great times. Then we have that happening, and that's how that part of the episode ends. So a piece we missed, or I didn't talk about, because going the back and forth kind of messes things up a little bit, and it's tough to do that. It's great for the show, but it's tough to talk about in a video like this. So we have Kimiko get captured by the Russian Russian woman. And when she wakes up, she's kind of cut up, um, chained to a chair. Sir, Siri, no, Sherry, sorry, is next to her, chained up as well. And then we have Frenchie be pulled out, butt naked, chained to a pole, bleeding, and being told that he has to make a choice on which one dies, and if he doesn't make a choice, they both die. Kimiko still has a popsicle stick that she uses to break the lock on her handcuffs. She then slices the throat of one of the guys and starts the fight. Now, she does not have her strength, so she is fighting on instinct alone and from her training in the terrorist group that she was forced to be a part of. So she starts fighting. It is very hard for her to win, only because it was not easy doing that with not only injured, but without her superpowers. She breaks free, attacks the Russian woman. She escapes. They all finally leave. And we learn more about Frenchie and his backstory. Before the escaping and everything else, the Russian woman really talks about all of his scars and how he got them, and how that he's a loyal pup and does whatever he's told and obeys no matter what. So anyway, so after the fight and everything else, she escapes, but so do those three. So those three get back to, I would assume, Cherie's place. I don't know. It's a location we don't know about. And he starts trying to heal their wounds, and it is not easily done. But they seem to at least be safe for now. And Kimiko explains that she now realizes that the V wasn't the one that made her a monster. It was her herself. And she can't stand that part of her anymore. And, Frenchie tries to explain to her that that's not the case, but she's not convinced. After Homelander leaves, we see the group of Soldier Boy, Huey, and Butcher leave, and they see MM and Starlight trying to help as many people as possible. So the episode ends with Starlight making an Instagram Live post, possibly Facebook Live. I don't know. I don't know what exists in that universe, but it's some sort of live streaming where she explains that she's no longer part of Vought. She's not Starlight. She's Annie January, and that Soldier Boy is free. He is not for the American people if he ever was, and people only care about their ratings, nothing about any safety or anything else, and that Homeland is the worst one of them all. And she goes, I'm most likely not going to be living much, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to get punished for this in some sort of capacity, but I wanted the American people to know. And that was messed up. But also really cool, and that's how the episode ends. So much is going to happen. I mean, there's only 2 episodes left, so much is going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, I don't know if they're actually going to kill Homelander. Are they going to beat him up? Are they going to, what's going to happen? I have no idea. So I'm super excited to see where this, the rest of the season goes. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, because I thought this was an amazing episode. Just full of just shocks and awes and just epicness. Like, actually seeing Homelander fight somebody at his caliber and actually getting damaged was kind of cool. So definitely interesting to see what happens. Also interested to see what happens to Black Noir. All this stuff, right? There's only 2 members left of Payback that we're aware of. Black Noir for sure, and I think it's the guy in like the cloak, because we know the Fly Guy's dead. But I think he's like, anyway, I'm not positive on who he is, but he was part of Payback, and we haven't seen him yet. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes back and gets killed, which I assume he would. But yes, so like I said, let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode. I thought it was great. As always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a good night.